Whoa, boys and girls, I tell you, this is an exciting second round. I paid for the whole seat, but I'm only using the edge. This is Rob, and I'm here with you today to talk about the exciting bouts happening here in the second round of the March Mayhem Tournament here on Game Fight Show.
Game Fight Show!
As always, I am joined today by my beautiful co-host, one Mr.
Brendan Riley.
And because medical science has proven that this much excitement is not containable by two mortal vessels, we have called in a special guest in the person of none other than...
Andrew Nerger.
Andrew Nerger!
The Nerganator!
I'm sure I'm telling you something you already know when I say that Andrew Nerger is half of the creative talent behind the wonderful game company Road to Infamy Games.
This episode is on the road to infamy.
Indeed, Brendan. They are the makers of such excellent games as the titular Road to Infamy, After Nova, and Crypt.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Speaking of our rankings, I went on and checked, and Crypt has you guys listed above both Scrabble and Kings of Air and Steam.
Whoa! You know, I played Kings of Air and Steam many times last year, and I think that's a great achievement. Well done, sir.
It is a laudable achievement. You have my lauds.
Thanks, guys.
Have you gotten a lot of fan love from grave robbers about that game?
Oh, yeah. It's definitely the first thing people talk about when they're talking about Crypt. They're like, you're robbing a grave? It's like, yeah, that's exactly what you're doing.
The difference between grave robbing and archaeology is slender.
Did you see that there's a game that came out about the Sedlec ossuary? It's called Skulls of Sedlec. It's about like making a church full of bones. Seems you guys missed a trick there as a sequel.
Oh my gosh.
Oh boy.
I hear there's big news coming out of Road to Infamy Games, that you have an exciting offer that you're going to be putting forward to the public.
Yeah, the scoop. Yeah, I decided on your show would be the time to announce it in the only place. We are doing a pay what you want campaign right now for Crypt. So you can go onto our website and you can get it for whatever you feel like it's worth, even if that's $0.
That's incredible.
Wait, I have to pay what I think it's worth? This isn't fair.
$1 million.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you guys are too kind.
Seriously, though, Crypt is a wonderful game, beautifully constructed. You should head over to...
roadtoinfamy.com. That's ROADTOINFAMY.com.
Head over there now.
The man knows how to spell.
Speaking of spelling, today is going to spell the end of the hopes and dreams of one of these great games. Here in the March Mayhem Tournament.
Second round.
Ding, 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 ding. We're in the second round of the throwdown, but we've got some first-class games here as we see Brass Birmingham coming up against Terra Mystica.
This is a thunderous matchup, Rob, and I am really excited to see where the voters take it. Andrew, which of these games are you leaning toward?
To put it all on the plate right away, it's Brass. It's Brass all the way. It's so good.
Well, no doubt. It is the fourth seed game overall in the tournament here. It's a Martin Wallace game. Since Brendan and I have to remain objective here, it's great to have Andrew here to give us some hot opinions. But I will tell you that if you look inside Brendan's Trapper Keeper, you'll find pictures of hearts with his initials and Martin Wallace's initials written inside. Because Wallace is a designer that is very close to Brendan's heart.
I have wondered, Brendan Wallace, what it would look like if I signed it that way. So, Andrew, you've played Birmingham. How do you like the beer mechanism over the limited market of the original Brass?
I do love the original Brass, and the beer was a surprise. I think it's more complicated, but still has a ton of value, and I get why they did that. It kind of fleshes out the game more and gives you more options. But honestly, it says Brass Birmingham. I'm kind of just seeing it as Brass everything. And maybe that makes me too much of a fanboy, but I just love what's going on in all the games.
Takes a lot of gumption to make that claim. You must
Right.
have a pair of brass. Well, okay. But, we can't count Terra Mystica out yet. This is a game that, it set a few standards that we are seeing come out in other games. I don't think there was a game before Terra Mystica where you had a player board, and as you take things off of your player board, you suddenly get more stuff, right? Terra Mystica, you put houses on the board, you put markets on the board, and then you're generating more income. As you build different things, your income changes. That's such a clever mechanism. We've seen it come out in other contenders. In the bracket, Scythe uses that mechanism, right? So, Terra Mystica, it's just such a giant in the industry.
You'd be wise to keep in mind that Terra Mystica is our 14th seed, coming up against Brass, which is our 4th seed. But Terra Mystica is a full 6 years older than Brass Birmingham.
Yeah, indeed. I think the over-under of the time between the original Brass and Brass Birmingham, I think right in the middle you got Terra Mystica. So there's an average there.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. But Brass does have that shiny new box from Roxley Games. They did such a good job. Terra Mystica could use a little spit and polish, I think.
I agree with Brendan there. I mean, that's something that Brass has going for it that Terra Mystica is going to have to overcome, is just the fact that it's been recently re-released. And I'm with you. I demand a re-release of Terra Mystica. I think it's about time.
Well, good listener, no one would say that the Gaia Project is a re-release of Terra Mystica, but it certainly ticks some of the same boxes.
Sure, absolutely.
But we're not talking about Gaia Project today.
No.
It could be an interesting drift in the bracket that at some point we may have these two games come up against one another. And we've been seeing this fight on Board Game Geek for the last 2 years since Gaia Project came out, as people argue space or fantasy, which one do you like? The Terra Mystica is a little simpler. Gaia Project's got a tech tree and a bunch of other gunk.
Well, it takes you right back to a couple of years ago when Seven Wonders came up against Seven Wonders Duel. Ooh, that was rough.
Indeed.
Happily, this is a decision that none of the three of us will have to make. This is all up to the voters.
The voters!
The voters. And how are the voters going to make their will known?
The voters are going to head over to Game Fight Show on Twitter, @GameFightShow, and they're going to look for the polls for this matchup today.
That they will. Oh, that's the gong, and unless I'm wrong, it means it's time for us to throw to Eleanor for the results from yesterday's dramatic battle between Mage Knight and Castles of Burgundy.
All right, I'm here with your results. The action of round 2 hasn't let off as the Castles of Burgundy withstood the siege of Mage Knight, proving why they deserve to move on to the 3rd round. Back to you.
Oh, I didn't see that result coming, and I have to admit, it hurts a little.
Well, but I'm excited to see how it came out. Andrew, how are your feelings?
On the results, exactly how I thought they would go. Predicted.
A prognosticator.
I've always trusted your powers of prognostication. All right, folks, thank you once again. Don't forget to head over to Twitter and vote, and we'll see you tomorrow for more Hot Heat. Goodbye.
Rattlebox Games.